Imphal, the capital of Manipur, has a proud and long history dating back to ancient times. In the heart of Imphal stands its most sacred place, the Kangla. As with creation, the history of Manipur began with Kangla. Kangla symbolizes the seat of power, justice and ideals. The social importance of Kangla is still in the collective minds of the people of Manipur. The supreme god, Lord Asiba, is believed to reside in Kangla in his characteristic called serpent posture, Paphal. Kangla is also known as Thon-Tare Tholangme, or the seven layers. On each layer resides a python, a tortoise, a boar, an ox, an elephant, and a supernatural being bearing a paphal. These layers are below the coronation hall of the kings of Manipur. Kangla continues to signify the cohesive spirit of Manipuri culture and identity. It is still the center of religious activities. Various worships and festivals are invariably linked with it. The Lai Harauba is a festival that mirrors the entire culture of the land. It reveals its strengths, weaknesses, beliefs, and superstition, and is perhaps a significant sacrament that preserves the ancient culture and values. Nungjeng Pukri is one of the many sacred sites in Kangla. The sacred pond is believed to be the abode of Lord Pakhangba, from whom the kings of Manipur claim their lineage. Invocation to the gods for Lai Harauba and other rituals are done here.
Kangla was the ancient capital of Manipur since the reign of Nongda Laiden Pakhangba in 33 AD. His various successors of the Ningthauja clan ruled from this ancient seat till it was occupied by the British on the 27th of April 1891. In those days, all the important departments of the kingdom were situated in Kangla.
The kings of Manipur knew the importance of keeping records. Chaitharol Kumbaba, the royal chronicle, describes Kangla as a royal palace since 33 AD during the reign of Pakhangba. It is from here that Pakhangba's clan gradually consolidated their political and military power to establish the Ningthauja kingdom. Written in ancient Manipuri script, it chronicles events since the reign of the first king Pakhangba, providing insight into the polity of the ancient Manipuris. Strategically, Kangla is ideally located. Its natural vantage location is doubly secured by the surrounding hills. The northern entrance is guarded by the Chingmerong Hills, while Chingar protects the south, Baruni in the east, and Langol in the west. All important routes and tracks converge at Kangla. The Kangla grew into a formidable fortress city over the centuries. A major landmark in the growth of Kangla fortress was its construction by King Khagemba in the 16th century. The citadel, which houses the royal residence, occupies the center of the fortress. Five walls surround the royal palace. The innermost walls are the only remains standing today. It was an enclosure of high brick walls measuring 600 by 600 feet. These 20-foot high walls, built of burnt bricks, were almost impregnable. Each corners of the wall were interspersed with octagonal-shaped watchtowers serving as sentry posts. The entire perimeter of the citadel has emplacements for up to 500 defenders. To the southwest of the citadel was the Kangjebung, perhaps the oldest polo ground of the world. Polo's origin can be traced back to about 300 BC in Manipur. Manipuri Puya mentions Sagol Kangje or polo as the game of the gods. Polo became the national game of Manipur after its introduction by King Kangba. A British Major General was so impressed by the game that he took Manipuri polo players to Calcutta and introduced polo to the world in an exhibition match in 1863. King Kunjauba improved on the fortification and beautification of Kangla fortress. The moat surrounding the three sides of Kangla was dug during 1660 AD, its primary purpose being the defense against marauding enemies. In the days of old, a boat race, locally known as Hiyang Tanaba, was held here. This miniature is an exact replica of the boat used in those days. It has a human head at the back and a dragon head motif in the front. During the reign of Rajashri Bhagyachandra, Kangla was abandoned as a consequence of repeated incursions by the Burmese. The Burmese invaded Manipur in 1819 and occupied the valley for 7 years. This was the darkest chapter in the history of Manipur. It is infamously known as Chahi Taret Khuntakpa, meaning 7 years devastation. Ruthlessly, the invaders plundered Kangla and drained it of its glory. By the 18th century, Hinduism had swept the country. It was a period of cultural and aesthetic refinement and can rightly be considered the renaissance of Manipuri culture. The world-famous Ras Leela is the creation of none other than Rajashri Bhagya Chandra himself. Dance and music achieved a level of higher artistic attainment. The influence it exercised on the successive rulers was so profound that every king after him vied with each other in building cultural edifices. In 1844, Maharaj Nara Singh shifted the capital back to Kangla. The Shri Shri Govindaji temple stands as a testimony to the influence Hinduism had on the Manipuri psyche. Originally built by Maharaj Nara Singh, the temple suffered extensive damage in the great earthquake that hit the state in 1868. Using the same bricks, Maharaj Chandrakirti reconstructed the temple in 1869. It is a rectangular late medieval period brick and Burmese teak rafted temple. The entire structure is double cell type, with a portico and a sanctum hall, with ambulatory paths around it. The exterior walls are decorated elaborately with floral designs. This temple is dedicated to Lord Govinda and his consort Rasheshwari. To the front of the temple are the ruins of the Beithab. The structure comprises of two double-storied buildings, one on each side of the 3 rows of standing columns. There used to be a roof over the rows of columns. It is no longer here. The 2 adjacent buildings also served as a bell house. Maharaja Chandrakirti dedicated the Beithab to Lord Govinda in 1855. Sankirtan and religious ceremonies were held here. The ruins of Govindaji and Beithab are significant not only as a religious symbol but also as a focal point around which the whole civilization is said to have revolved. Another noteworthy Hindu architecture in Kangla is the temple of Lord Brindavan Chandra. As tradition goes, the Yuvarajas of Manipur worshipped Brindavan Chandra. It is popularly known as Tikandraji Temple as a tribute to its last occupant. Built like a fort, exquisite arch entrances adorn the 4 sides of the temple, giving no indications of the mysteries therein. The tunnel concealed in the dark northeastern corner of the inner sanctum is one such. The steep brick staircase at the back leading to the roof of the temple is another. It was constructed in such a way that only one person can ascend at a time, making it ideal for a defender to guard against attackers. The first battle of the Anglo-Manipur War was fought inside Kangla in the Yuvaraj's compound. The Chief Commissioner of Assam, Mr. J.W. Quinton, ordered the British forces to attack Kangla on the 24th March 1891 to capture Yuvaraj Tikendrajin. The operation proved futile, and fearing heavy losses, the British sounded a retreat. Soon after, a darbar was held, but it turned violent. The infuriated mob attacked the British political agent, Mr. Grimwood, and killed him on the darbar steps. J.W. Quinton, the Chief Commissioner of Assam, Colonel Skeen, Mr. Cossins, and a bugler for the 44th Gurkha Rifles were taken out and beheaded, with the two mythical beasts, or Kangla Shahs, as witnesses. The news of the mob attacks shocked the British government. In an effort to salvage the situation, columns of British soldiers were rushed to Manipur from Kohima, Cachar, and Burma. A severe hand-to-hand battle was fought at Kongyan, and despite a valiant effort, Manipur fell to the British on the 27th April 1891. The whole of Manipur, including Kangla, came under the British dominion. The British vented out their anger by demolishing the Kangla. All the important structures were razed to the ground. Among them were the Kangla Shahs, the glorious symbol of pride and sovereignty. On Monday, the 20th July 1891, the British blew up the symbolic beasts. The British forces occupied Kangla, the symbol of power and sovereignty over Manipur. It signified the end of Manipur independence and the genesis of British colonial rule. All the important offices and officers' quarters of the British Empire were inside Kangla. Kangla came to be known as Manipur Fort during their rule. The British embedded their presence in the environment of Kangla by adding structures of their own designs. The British architecture that remains still today reminds us of the British rule in Manipur. The psychological impact it had on the average Manipuri was devastating, given almost a 2,000-year history. Kangla at present is under the direct control of the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, represented in field by the 17th Assam Rifles on the west and the 11th Indian Reserve Battalion, IRB, on the east.
As it happens in most places, the townships normally come up around cantonments. The same thing has happened in case of Kangla also. Kangla was important sort of cantonment, and all the bazaar areas, all the important places have come up around Kangla. Whether it is the CM's residence, or it is the governor's bungalow, or it is the major trading centers of Thangal Bazaar and Pano Bazaar, everything has come up around Kangla. This provides excellent sort of facilities for people, and at the same time, it gives us exceedingly important and significant operational capabilities as long as we are here. Now it will have to be seen by people whether the retention of some people of Assam Rifles will be very important for the further maintenance and looking after of Kangla, and for the safety and security of people in and around this place.
The Manipur government has taken on itself the protection and the preservation of the entire area of Kangla, including the moat and the Kekrupat measuring 237 acres under the provision of the Manipur Ancient and Historical Monument and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1976. Recently, the government of Manipur took a major initiative and reconstructed the Western Gate, the main and the most impressive of the 4 gates. The erection was carried out faithfully down to the last detail, maintaining the unique indigenous architecture. This imposing structure stands as a reminder of the bygone days of the Manipuri kingdom. One thing is clear, come what may, Kangla will always remain the symbol of the currents of history of the Manipuris, linked to their lives, their fate and destiny for all time to come.
Daba kangam daba kagla sige kaura sige karam kala kanjau kubulang. Lakli balambi bula bukla manga hali balam khanga leiram ni balam. Tanam tahen tanering tanga daba tasing badi tansu talho de. Hanjil hanjil hang ho da no horil hayeng hairi hayeng hangchil hangki gani hainam de. Lakli balambi bulam lamang na hali balam khang da leiram li balam. Phangam draba pham pham phang le phang li ba se phang pham thop phana phang na khaba pham pham ni. Ngakrabani ngakli bodu ngali ngali ngai de ngami makai ngakhanda ngai geni. Lakli balambi bulam lamang na hali balam khang leiram li balam. Minai mi san mi thoi mi hen